Hey everybody, welcome back. I know it's been a while since our last video and I can explain. And I'll make it short. Basically, I had some recent scares involving my health that slightly traumatized me a bit. But since then, I've been able to regain my mental, at least enough to make you guys another outstanding video. And although I'm not completely recovered, I am okay. Anyways, if you've clicked on this video, then you know we are going to discuss none other than the Miss Toya Bush Harris. Now, during my downtime, I did choose to take a trip back down memory lane by rewatching older seasons. And while doing so, I noticed a lot of things that I didn't really pay attention to before. And one of those reasons being just how Miss Harris got the nickname Tacky Toya. Now, don't get me wrong, I noticed a lot about everyone, trust me. And that's for many other videos in the future. But the main one that stood out to me was how messy, spoiled, and rude Toya is. And I thought to myself, dang, how did I not notice this at first? So I just started writing things down. And the list of obnoxious behaviors from her were too many to remind y'all of. Now, I won't go over all of them. However, I will share with y'all the most significant ones. So y'all go ahead, grab your wine and your popcorn and sit back and relax, because here are the top Tacky Toya moments. Okay, so y'all automatically know the very first one that comes up. It goes all the way back to season 1 when Toya was overheard talking about how Mariah's daughter isn't her husband's, which resulted in the now infamous fight. This fight was so funny, but sad as well. They embarrassed their husbands, but also I totally forgot about Miss Lucy hurling that purse upside Toya's head. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, set the tone for the viewers. After this, we knew Toya, 1, was not going to ever let anyone put their hands on her, and 2, Toya was going to definitely bring some messiness to the show. Another Tacky Toya moment I would like you all to remember is the time she ruined Mariah's refresher/new start dinner by gossiping and calling people out at the wrong time, which totally defeated the purpose of the dinner. Supposedly there was a gathering off camera where new girl Janice and Dr. Heavenly attended. Well, at that gathering, in true Heavenly fashion, she said something offensive to Janice without thinking. Something about her children along the lines of her and her husband having custody of his kids from a previous relationship. But the way that she worded it was in a way that shouldn't have been said to someone you just met. So Janice goes and confides in Toya about that moment. And boy, was that the wrong thing to do, because Toya doesn't just tell Heavenly, she waits till the dinner has started and calls it out at the table with everyone. This, of course, causes an argument between Heavenly and Janice, and it doesn't end there. Things eventually calm down, and who else but Toya decides to bring up another possible confrontational moment when she asks, so no one else has any more issues at the table, in which Lisa brought up a previous altercation she had with Toya. That sparked a whole nother argument between the two, of which accusations and insults being thrown, including Toya calling Lisa's husband gay. And that ultimately being the lowest blow. We see it very often on these shows where the blows get very low. So I know Toya isn't the first nor the last to go there, but she definitely at this point is proven to be an initiator. And I'm mad I'm just now starting to see it. Anyways, moving on to the next moment I'd like to discuss is the spa day she had set up for the whole group. Now, this sounds nice, right? Well, yeah, it was, until she reveals she's picked out everybody's individual spa treatments based off of what she thinks they need. Like, for instance, she picked a soothing and calming yoga session for Janice because she felt she had a big mouth. She picked a strawberry lipo for Heavenly, Botox and fillers for Jackie, a facial for Quad because she felt she wears too much makeup, and so on and so forth. Just petty, really. Not all the ladies took kindly to this, obviously. And this is what reminded me of a previous event she had when she did something similar. If y'all recall a Halloween party Toya had at her house, before entering, she passed out diagnosis cards and prescriptions at the door. And at that time, she just so happened to be beefing with Simone. So Simone's diagnosis card said Alzheimer's and aggressive behavior, and she prescribed her with permanent nursing home placements. She did Jackie's too. Jackie was diagnosed with OCD with eating and prescribed her with food. And it basically went that way with everyone that entered. Now, I'm a bit of a skeptic because some of these antics seem a bit far-fetched. Could production be behind some of these? I don't know. I ask myself this constantly because honestly, who is naturally this petty and childish? But I'm no one to judge. Moving on. Next is a moment at her 40th birthday party, which almost didn't happen since at that time her and Eugene were in over $100,000 worth of debt. Quad did end up throwing that party for her, which she did get mad at Eugene about, by the way, but we'll get to that in a minute. Anyways, at this party there were multiple things taking place, including an actual blowout between Mariah, Quad, and Simone, but to me that wasn't the pettiest part. That was just catty women being catty women. The petty part was when Toya got her tacky behind up on the mic in front of a room full of people and told Lisa she needed to apologize to her. For what, you may ask? For something that was said in a previous argument where they both exchanged words. I felt so embarrassed and cringed for Lisa, but not as cringy as I did when Lisa actually grabbed the mic and apologized, y'all. I was literally like, what in the world? And it's at this point that I realized Toya gives two rats behind about timing and place. And for that, she's tacky. Y'all remember that time Toya kept referring to Quad's townhouse as an apartment? Yeah, me too. That's all. Because this one was so antagonistic, it speaks for itself, child. But next, I want to fast forward a little to the physical altercation at Quad's holiday party with fellow castmate Audra. Now, their feud had been brewing during the majority of the season, starting in Vegas when Toya implied that Audra was not very good at her job as an attorney. Well, this would tick anybody off that's passionate about their career. Well, after that, Audra made a point to prove to Toya and everyone else in the group that she was no pushover and could hold her own in this group of savages. And she did a pretty good job, but it got cringy when Audra brought up Toya's paperwork showing the sale and profits from her previous home, claiming she lied about the final amount her and Eugene made. This ticked Toya off, rightfully so, because she was already in a heated argument with someone else that night. But Audra, as an attorney, sort of proved Toya's point at not being that good at her job by looking up personal info to use it against her as leverage to hurt her on national television. And after that, folks, all hell broke loose. The next thing we know, they're both in each other's faces, and we remember what happened the last time somebody got in Toya's face. And at that moment, I just knew it was long overdue. All I could do was shake my head. I mean, I understood it, and honestly could say in that same situation myself, I would have responded the same way. But what makes this moment tacky for Toya, you ask? Well, for me, it's like, again, you, the only one on the show with 2 fights under your belt, and as a physician's wife, this is just tacky representation for her husband, for her kids, and all the doctors' wives as a whole. But that's just me. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. Okay, next I'd like to talk about a recent interview she had with Carlos King. I did cover this video. If you'd like to view it, it is on my channel. If you don't follow his YouTube channel or watch Carlos King at all, and if you didn't tune in for my recap, you won't be familiar with it. Now, this whole interview was shady from her and Carlos both, but the craziest part was close to the end when she hollered out,
Eugene was open to it. To invite in the bedroom, who would you choose?
Nobody, none of them. I'm not sexually attracted to any other females on our cast.
Quad is gorgeous with a body.
You have not seen her without that makeup.
Oh.
No. That hairline starts at the ear, baby. No. No.
Y'all, was it funny? Yes, but yeah, well, that's all this one was. No tacky here, just hilarious, cause y'all remember old school Quad? Y'all were thinking it. Finally and lastly, I want to get to the most tackiest Toya moments of all, and that would have to be the way she treats Eugene. All of the crazy things she said and done to Eugene to embarrass and belittle this man for the whole world to see. Now, I have a whole list, and it's pretty extensive, but we are going to recap a few that stood out to me. First, coming back around to that 40th birthday party tantrum she had in the midst of their financial struggles. Now, Eugene up to that point had been expressing multiple times how tired he was due to all the overtime he was working in order to get them out of the over $100,000 debt they were in with the IRS. But all Malibu Barbie could think of was the 40th birthday and how mandatory it was that she got one. And not just that, it had to be extravagant. Now, it just so happened that Eugene put his foot down this time and said no, but it really made me mad and overall sad for Eugene. So for this, I felt she was tacky for not thinking of the bigger picture and considering not only her kids, but Eugene and the situation they both got themselves in. Next, I want to talk about instances where she's demeaned and belittled him. This happens more times than I could count at this point, and I don't know if she's aware of what she's doing or if she just doesn't care. Like one time, this lady literally told this man he had man boobs for the whole world to hear. Reverse those roles and let Eugene say some of the insulting things that she said to him, and she swears she was being abused mentally and emotionally. But nah, she then turns around on other occasions and made mention of him needing to man up and calling him ignorant. I mean, the list honestly goes on, and it's unbelievable how cool and passive Eugene is about it. Because let me tell you, if I said or done half the things that Toya has to Eugene to my husband, well, shoot, I wouldn't. I'm like heavenly. I call my husband Zaddy, and he don't play that mess at all. But that ain't even the worst thing she said about Eugene. And most of y'all already know what I'm about to bring up. This past season, while in Vegas, as she always does, had one too many drinks and got to talking a little too much. Well, while all the women were having a good time, the question comes up, what's something you wish you knew about before you got married? At which Toya, in a drunken stupor, responded that their penises wouldn't get any bigger. And it was in that instance that she immediately knew she messed up right after she said it, because she began trying to explain herself. To most, we knew there was nothing she could say. To most, we knew her comment was indicative of that her husband's genitalia being smaller than most. We're used to her sex talks and over exaggerations of their sex lives, but this was something else. Toya went too darn far this time. She put this man's manhood out for the world to see, and we knew that of all the past production hoax for ratings, this one was not one of them. This one was pure luck on the cameraman's behalf that day. Toya gets drunk, lets some words slip, and y'all know what all grandmothers used to say, drunk man tells no lies. She meant that, and instead of production throwing that clip out in the editing process, they was like, nah baby, this is gold. She spent the rest of the seasons and reunions and even interviews trying to explain it away. But of course, none of it worked. We all seen right through it. And for that, she gets the ultimate tacky for this, for making the closest person to you the butt of your tackiness. Is it just me though, y'all? What y'all think? I need to know if I'm alone or if y'all thinking this, but just waiting for somebody else to speak up. Do you disagree at all? Whatever it is, y'all let me know in the comment section below. Run that section up. After that, hit the like button. It's a free way to help me out. And if you're feeling extra generous today, share this video. For all of the newcomers/cousins, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of my content. The new season is coming upon us and you guys are going to want to see and hear what I have to say. But until the next time, guys, bye.